there's so much we could focus on in the book, but there's a theme that comes up repeatedly, which is the value of the monopoly business. You talk about the history of progress as a history of better monopoly businesses replacing incumbents. Yet, if you look over the last century, monopolies haven't always acted in the most enlightened way. They haven't always benefited the consumer as governments would have hoped, and governments have often had to come in and regulate. Isn't this a bit of a pure view of the value of a monopoly?
Well, so there's always you have to always distinguish looking at this from the inside and the outside. So from the point of view of someone starting a business, from the point of view of a founder, an entrepreneur, you want to always build a monopoly, and it's always great to have one from the inside. And it gives you way more cushion. You can do all sorts of things much better. I think you can be a more ethical company. When Google says, "Don't be evil," on one level it's a marketing ploy, but on another level, you don't have to care about nothing but money in a company where you're making so much of it. So on the inside, I think you always want to have a monopoly. From the outside, from the point of view of society, the question are monopolies good or bad? And I think they are. I agree with the critique of monopolies in a stagnant world, where it's like the Parker Brothers board game and the monopolist is just a rent collector or a toll collector. But I think that if you have a dynamic world where people are inventing and creating new things, these are actually positive. So when Apple builds a smartphone that just works, it has a monopoly on the iPhone for many years, and I think it still has somewhat of a monopoly in various ways today. And that's a good monopoly because it created something that did not exist before. And the sort of the common sense way to differentiate good from bad monopolies, and lines are a little bit fuzzy, but the common sense way is just, do consumers think it's a good thing or do they think it's a bad thing? So they might think the post office is a bad government structured monopoly, whereas Apple would be seen as a good one.
But is it healthy for the wider economy if a single company like Facebook owns so much data on people's preferences, that real-time knowledge based on what we're doing mobile, and they can set the rules? They're more powerful than governments.
Well, I certainly much prefer Facebook to own the data than the government. I think you have to draw all these distinctions. There's an important debate about privacy. There are important questions about how one draws these lines. But I think the Facebook product has created a lot of value in the world. It's made the world more connected. It's helped people stay in touch with their friends, and I think it's been an enormous net plus to people all over the place. I think so. Yeah.